Hello, hi guys, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. We're gonna do a collective timeless reading, so whenever this reading finds its way to you is the right time, but keep in mind it's still a general reading. So see which signs, symbols, messages resonate for you in your particular situation and hopefully help to bring you a little clarity on whatever you're wondering, concerned, confused about. This could broaden your perspective and show you something with fresh eyes. It could also narrow your focus and show you something you could be missing. But in the end, always trust yourself. That divine inner guidance is inside of you. And try to make balanced decisions between logic and intuition, so your decisions are sound and based in love and for the highest and greatest good of everyone. So we're all uplifted in love. We're going to start today with the place oracle. Let's just start with the location of energy. See what God, Source, Holy Spirit, Christ consciousness, our higher selves, angels and energies of love have for the highest and greatest good of all. A little clarity for the collective. Place of, oh, it's like remembering. Nostalgia, memories, sentimental, childhood, and reflection. Totally here, this used to be my playground. Madonna from A League of Their Own. Like, it's like I look at this card and the theme is just like in my mind files. So maybe some of you are in a state of nostalgia. This is kind of like a Six of Cups energy. Maybe you actually go back to a place that, you know, was kind of special in childhood, or it's going back to a place in your mind. Is she going to bark? Rose, come on over here. Let's continue. It could be going to a place also in your mind. So when it's nostalgia, it's usually thinking about the past, but you're not really in the past. It could also be future memories. So it could be romanticizing something that you wish would happen, but you're not really there and you're not really there. You're kind of nowhere. It's like a weird in between the time thing. So maybe this is bringing you back into the now and you're having some reflection on something you could change. Sometimes it's just a really nice memory. I feel like memory is really triggered by music and smell. So maybe something like that triggers your memory today. We also have a beach. Maybe some of you live by the beach. It doesn't have to be an awesome, you know, like ocean like this, blue waters, white sands, but it could be a lake, it could be by a river or a stream. It's definitely being near water. But when I see the beach, like I can almost smell the salt in the air and like feel the breeze on your face and the sand between your toes. It's all of those elements combined at the beach that is actually very healing. But maybe some of you actually just need to get outside today, get some vitamin D, sun and sand, relaxation and leisure. So even if you just kind of go to a park, pack a picnic, get some sunshine, maybe that's like really beneficial for you today, kind of healing. I'm also seeing that maybe some of you are actually thinking about a place that you used to vacation, perhaps as a kid or a long time ago, and maybe you're like planning a trip to go back somewhere, and it's like you get there and it's like, wow, everything's changed, or holy moly, everything is exactly the same as I remember. Except, you know, when you go back to a place and you're an adult and it seemed so big when you were a kid, and then you look at it and you're like, I thought everything was so big, it's all so small. It kind of looks different. So I'm kind of seeing that as well. Let's see if anything else comes out. Yeah, well, if you're not by a beach, maybe it's going to a river. Look at this windy river. Or a laboratory or a cinema. Hey, We got some different energies coming through. So it's a beautiful river. Maybe it's getting to the other side of something. The river just makes me think of like the river of life. Like, you know, it's wonderful to be on the shore, but it's, you know, it's kind of like that's a, I don't know. I feel like when you're holding on to the shore of something, even though this is an awesome shore to be on, if this is more of a metaphor, when you allow yourself to go with the flow, that beautiful allowance usually takes you where you need to be. Flowing waters, riverbank views. Then for some of you, hey, maybe you are a scientist. I mean, we have a laboratory here. It kind of makes me think of the magician a little bit though, trying to come up with the right formula or solution for something. It looks so scientific. I mean, it says scientific research, experiments and analysis, innovation and invention. Maybe some of you have like a product or something like that, and you're actually having it manufactured. I don't think it has to be a laboratory situation. I'm actually seeing 3D printing when I look at this. So maybe that's important for some of you. You do something with like 3D printing. I know this is a really weird thing to think of, but I met somebody once that actually did 3D printing houses, like on a gigantic scale. And it was, I didn't even know that was a thing, but it does like layer of concrete by layer of concrete, and it like prints out a house. So maybe that just gave me chills. I don't know if any of you have heard of that, or maybe look it up, or that's something you're into, but it doesn't have to be on a small scale. Technology maybe is important here. Doing something a different way. I haven't even thought about that in a while. That's kind of interesting. And then we have a cinema. Look at this beautiful movie theater. So maybe there's a situation that was going on behind the curtain, a little bit of a waiting. You got to that cinema really soon or really early. There's not anyone else there right now. So maybe you arrive early at something. You're waiting for the show to begin, waiting for that curtain to open. Maybe you're just watching a really, really cool movie today. It could also be with this together. Maybe something that was, you know, a movie you liked as a kid or you always had as your fave, but you haven't watched it in a long time. So maybe you're popping in an old movie. Maybe it's like my other cards, those jazz cards, and maybe it's a really old, like black and white movie. It's silver screen. That would be the silver screen. Theater, movie night, and a film festival. So if some of you are filmmakers or an actor, or you do something with cinematography, maybe it's actually submitting your film for something. Maybe it's going to actually be like approved and shown. Maybe you're going to win. It says theater as well. So maybe some of you do something on stage. You could be an actor or performer or musician. Anything where there's kind of a stage. I feel like it has to involve a curtain somehow. There has to be like an opening. Maybe it's the grand opening of even a business or something like that. That makes me think of when you cut the pretty string. Grand opening, everybody come on inside, that kind of thing. So those were some opening messages, but but let's get some other messages. Let's jump to this one. This is the what is it? Fairy Guidance Oracle. Let's get one card for you guys. A little clarity on laboratory. What's that? There's like an old cartoon, and the character goes, "My laboratory," or he says it really funny. I can kind of hear that. I can't remember what cartoon that is. If you know what cartoon that is, please put it below. It's like kind of a kid's cartoon, but kind of an adult cartoon. Maybe you're an animator or something like that. I actually see now like stop animation. Oh, like, maybe this is important. I just thought of it's a really weird movie. I only know about it because of my sister. And it's something about a home. And there's 3 parts of the movie, like 3 separate stories. And it's kind of like little like stuffed animals, and they make the eyes move. It was very weird and very intense. But maybe you do something like that. It's like the Fantastic Mr. Fox kind of style. So it's not really like clay. It's not really animation. It's kind of different. A little bit like confusing and yet magical to see. So maybe you guys are really creative and you do something like that. I'm even getting like maybe a short, like something that you can do short. It doesn't have to be a long film. Maybe just some kind of really cool little reel or short. I like that that brought kind of cool messages. All right, let's clarity, like an overall message for you guys. Simplicity. Maybe that's the short. Maybe don't make it so complicated. Maybe you're finding peace in simplicity. Simplifying your life will bring you a sense of clarity and renewal. I feel like maybe some of you are clearing out the clutter, the closet, keeping the things that you love and you wear. And if it's dusty on the shelf or in the back of the closet and you are annoyed every time you put it on, maybe just get rid of it, donate it. Maybe somebody else can really use that item. Simplifying your life. It just makes me think of when you, I mean, we're going a little abstract here, but when you live your truth and you are proud of your decisions and your decisions are taking you the right way, that is, you know, where your heart and your soul is guiding you, everything is a lot easier. It doesn't have to be so complicated. So maybe some of you are actually getting over, you know, if you have this place of remembrance, maybe you're over analyzing something or in scenario land or what if land and all that going on out there and not in real land. So maybe it's just something that is a one step at a time, or trust yourself that you'll figure it out as you walk down this road. I'm not exactly sure what I said with that, but I don't think it has to necessarily mean actual clutter. I think it will become a lot simpler if maybe a decision was made, or you make a few steps towards that path that feels right. So let's see. Let's since we're pulling some of these weird cards, let's go to the person card or the character oracle. Let's just see what characters come out today. How it kind of connects to this part of the reading and the next part of the reading. Some characters, please. I need to know to be helpful. That one. What is that? Aww. All right, so this is homeless. Unemployment, solitude, hunger, bankruptcy, and wandering. So maybe some of you are trying to figure out where to live. Or I'm kind of getting that some of you are actually doing some philanthropy with this. That you're actually helping people that are in need, doing something in your community. It could be that some of you are just doing something and you need some solitude. I mean, I'm kind of getting that wanting to feel comfortable. Maybe it's a home where the heart is. So it's not necessarily that there's not a place to be, but you kind of don't feel like you're in that environment. Wandering. It makes me think of a Jason Mraz song that's actually called Halfway Home. I used to walk all along the opposite side of the road, just so others would get out of my way. I used to think that I could just something and then they'd something. The words are really, really nice. So maybe something in that. And then we have painter. We'll clarify all of these. Painter is depict, sublimate, abstraction, form, and sensation. Ooh, yeah, I like that. So maybe you're painting with a different medium or on a different type of canvas. Maybe painting is a wonderful form of both expression and meditation. Maybe you don't even know you'd be awesome at painting. I would say if your local like cafe or community has anything where they have one of those like paint nights, maybe go to it. It's really cool. You know, everyone has to do a certain thing, but they give you the paints. You're there with kind of cool people. It's, you know, sort of social, but sort of internal as well. Maybe some of you are even starting to run something like that. It could also be paint therapy. If there's a shelter or something like that, to have some activities. Maybe some of you do murals. I also see that sensation. So there's really cool things you can do with paintings where you actually get texture. Maybe you're adding like fabrics or something underneath the paint, or melting some wax, or doing something where it's not really the typical flat surface. I feel like there's something maybe a little bit more special. Let's see if anything else comes out. A little more clarity. What's that? Boss. Yeah, look at this. All right, so maybe you're, I mean, if this was a situation where perhaps you know, your place of employment took a dip, or you're in between jobs, perhaps this is coming through because you're going to actually have a new boss that's going to give you a great opportunity. Or maybe you're actually going to do something where you're tapping into that creativity or that idea that you've always had, and you're becoming your own boss. This could also be a bossing up in energy, making some solid decisions. This is a master of wealth, risk, investment management, and a leader. Maybe some of you are actually getting a raise, or getting a different position. And it does say risk. So maybe for some of you, you're actually leaving a job that was very like, maybe it was felt stable, but I'm getting that not feel comfortable in the environment kind of situation. So maybe you do take a little risk. Maybe there's an in-between time before something progresses and or you get something else. But I do see this river here. So I feel like if you're going with the flow and following your dreams and your joy and your heart, keeping your eyes open to opportunities, speaking to people with your authentic joy about what you're really into or what you want or what you're doing, you're either going to head down that river to discover a new path, maybe a brand new like business that you're opening up, or the right person that could be like a partner or something like that, because it has investment. So maybe somebody sees a lot of potential in you. Maybe they don't necessarily want to run that business, but maybe they're going to put you as the leader or in management. They're going to invest in your idea, product, business, etc., etc. And it says a master of wealth. So maybe that's going to actually be a really good opportunity. So let's take whatever's at the bottom here, because I have a nice, actually it's very, I'm very organized in front of me right now, and I like that. But at the bottom you do have an engineer, architect of solutions. That's nice. So I do feel like a general message with this is there is a situation you've been trying to figure out and a solution is coming in. You're going to figure something out. It's engineering practice, problem solver, Yeah, awesome. Complex systems and technology. Did I say something before with that printing about technology? Maybe some of you are actually engineers with something, or you're like almost an inventor. You can really like see the bigger picture of a plan, you know, orchestrate something, get that. I'm getting like submission form. I'm not sure what that means, but I kind of see like a big blueprint. But maybe you need some other professional help in different areas to get something going, but you can see how it can all work. Architect. Maybe you're an architect as well. Problem solver. Cool. All right, I'm going to put this one down here so I remember that it's there. Let's go to the tarot. I mentioned the old movies, right? So let's do this one. Tarot of the Jazz Age. Let's do a layering today. Let's pull a card on each of these and see how they work together. And let's just go with the flow and see how it works. So let's get a little clarity on boss man over here. What do we need to know about this boss energy? It's very much an emperor energy with this one. What do we need to know about boss? Master of wealth, risk. Oh, maybe this is an upside down. Maybe this is an upside down emperor situations for some of you, because this is the devil coming through. So this is 15. If this is somebody who's like really controlling and or not recognizing your value, and that's a situation that you're leaving, then this is a wonderful card to come up, because that means the struggle is over. The self-awareness is here. You see what needs to be changed. You see what is unhealthy, and you make adjustments accordingly. I mean, sometimes the devil can be a lot of passion, but it can go different ways. When it comes through, it needs to be adjusted somewhere, sometimes completely let go of, and sometimes it's just a little tweak so that there can be a better energy flow. It's when energy is getting stuck, when you feel like you're actually in chains, when you don't feel like you have any freedom, when there's an obsession or a sense of control, or the overdoing something, the too much energy of anything. That can be any kind of thing that you do, or you do too much of it. It could be a partnership or a place or a situation. It's something that feels draining. It doesn't feel healthy, even if it started off as something that was maybe fun or exciting, or you were really into it. It starts to be something that starts to make you be in an energy of lack. It actually starts to strip away something from you where you're supposed to be somewhere else, where you are lifted up, appreciated, or let go of something that's draining you, so that unhealthy energy gets you back into this flowing river to make you healthier. So this is making healthy decisions when this comes through. Upside down, I do think that sometimes it is being so strict with yourself and so prim and proper and having everything. I mean, still that control thing here. But when it's so much control that you actually don't allow yourself to have a little bit of fun, or, you know, feel a little freedom or let loose, because you have such a responsibility going on in your mind on something, that sometimes it's good that the devil comes through and tells you you have to have some fun. You have to let loose a little bit sometimes. You know, it's good to have that passionate energy, but when that passionate energy becomes an obsessive energy is where it starts to affect you in negative ways. Also, even if it's something you're super, super passionate about, but if you restrict it, you put these strings or these chains on how exactly it has to be, there's no freedom for something to grow. So if that's a boss energy and you're so restricting all of your employees on something that has to be a certain way, for instance, and not taking into account how your employees are feeling, what's actually working on the floor, if that's like a company or if it's like a business or a restaurant or something like that, getting the opinion or, you know, feeling and flow of how people like are thinking, their suggestions, all of that, and you don't take that into account, you have a bunch of unhappy people there. People work better when they feel appreciated and they're heard and they're happy. So maybe there's an adjustment there. And if that's not, if this is about an actual environment and that is what's going on and you are not happy there, it is taking control of something, cutting those chains and taking yourself out to a different place. So let's get clarity on this place of reminiscence, nostalgia, memory, sentimental childhood, and reflection. 9 of Cups. So it looks like these are happy memories. Wow, look at this huge Christmas tree. Hey, it's like all the way up to the ceiling. It's huge. It's got all kinds of ornaments. There's all kinds of presents underneath. I mean, there is something in your memory. There's something you remember about your childhood. There is something you're thinking about that is actually a beautiful thought, because it's starting to get you ticking about what your wish come true is, what your ultimate destiny is, what you really want and desire, and what really makes your heart overflow. And this means it's on its way. This is when your wishes actually start to unfold and manifest in your life. And it's beautiful, but it's, you know, you do have to say like, hey, let's look at this upside down. If all those presents are there, what if they're not all your presents? You know? Or what if in every single one of those presents is a piece of chocolate cake? I mean, maybe that first couple bites or the first one is good, but after cake piece number 10 is still really satisfying. Probably not. So it's like that open bar, open feast kind of energy. You don't really have to have it all at once. It's an overindulge in something. You still have to have a balance with this 9 of Cups so that something lasts. So you have a piece for next week, you know? So it's making that adjustment and maybe just seeing what really makes you feel fulfilled. Okay, let's go to the beach. Sun, sand, relaxation, and leisure. And then we have the 7 of Wands. So, well, I mean, if you have the 7 of Wands, look at this guy. He's like training. He's got his boxing gloves on. He's in the ring. I mean, he could be at an actual match, or maybe he's just practicing, or maybe he's getting his, you know, muscles and his stamina together. Or this person could actually feel like uber defensive too. But usually this means that you have the higher ground on something. You have the higher perspective. It's knowing that you have all that strength, but you don't, maybe if it's an actual match you do, but in life situations, you don't have to make the first punch on something. You probably don't even really have to do anything if somebody sees that you're this strong. So it's knowing when to fight a battle, when to not, when to be I heard dismissive, when to be defensive, and maybe when to just dismiss something. That's like, if you know, if it's not like your class or your weight class, it's not really going to be a fair fight. Is it really worth fighting for? But maybe this is a situation where you're actually helping somebody. I have to clear my throat a lot. That usually means that somebody's having trouble talking, or there's a situation that needs to be cleared up. So maybe it's someone else who actually feels defensive. I'm not exactly sure why this is on beach. Maybe it's getting away from a defensive energy, or you feel like you're always like having to get ready to like battle or something like that. Maybe that's where you need to just kind of go out, have some leisure time, take some time by yourself, go sit by the beach, read a book, stick your toes in the sand, jump in the waves, surf, take your boat out, plan a vacation. Clarity on river, flowing waters, riverbank views. Are you in the water? or are you on the bank? It looks like you're getting in the boat. So this is really nice. I feel like with this card, if you need to stand up for yourself, then especially if it's with something that has to do with this situation, then you'll know when it's right to speak up and how to do that. But if you feel like it's just a battle that can't be won kind of thing, and it's just not worth your energy, take your badass, beautiful body self somewhere else where it's like you're training to actually have your dreams come true instead, and you're going with the flow towards this victory, because this is definitely on a spiritual path. This is getting in the driver's seat with something. This is something that's finally moving along. Maybe that river was at a lull for a very long time, almost like stagnant. There are parts of rivers where, depending on how the land is, the water actually circles around and gets really, really slow and almost doesn't, there's almost no current unless you go out farther in that current in the other side of the bank. And then once you get out there, you're out of that loop-de-loop area. So maybe some of you were actually going through a situation that was just kind of, maybe it was karmic, maybe it was just like a daily thing, like every single time it's the same thing that you see. Maybe you just have to push yourself a little bit here. See how strong you are. Maybe not even get defensive, maybe just push it for yourself, your own personal power. Go somewhere, get into that current, and or get on the road to that fancy, gorgeous car and head down the road, because this road is your destiny. This road takes you to victory. This road requires your effort. Maybe you know what's down that road because you've been down that road, but maybe your mode of getting there is different. Maybe you've figured something out. I do see that technology thing. So maybe you're figuring out how to go down the same road, but maybe amping up your technology with something so that it's a smoother ride. It's like I see like the cruise control, something like that. I think that's a parable, but maybe there's a way to do something where you can kind of hit the cruise control and maybe just enjoy the ride a little bit. But for some of you, I do feel like it's the opposite. Either, you know, you're not stepping on the gas at all here. You're supposed to get on the gas and go. But here, it could be that maybe you were always just on the cruise control. You know, I always see things in opposites. So if you're just on that cruise control and the car's driving its damn self all the time and you're never really, you're in the driver's seat, but you're not really in the driver's seat, then maybe this is actually getting in the driver's seat and hitting the stick shift instead. Whichever way feels like it resonates for you, it's that. And it could be a balance as well. It could be a little bit of everything. Let's get clarity on cinema, silver screen, theater, movie night, film festival. Maybe it's not even a film festival, or some of you sell maybe a craft or a product, a food, something like that, and you're actually, maybe even if you have like a restaurant or something, but you can do something in a festival, a carnival. Yeah, I see like something like that. Maybe something even like a, what is that, like a flea market or something like that. And you can actually like up your sales or stretch out and have a new customer base. Maybe do a little advertising at the same time that you have a place in this town, but you also have an online store if you ever want us to send you something. Something like that. There's a way to kind of branch out, but be in a place where, ooh, this is giving me, ooh, look at my hair. It's giving me the big goosies. There is a place you can go. Maybe it's just a couple days or one day thing where you can somehow like catapult how many people you get in contact with. But I feel like it does have to be like a personal thing. Somebody needs to talk about your product, you know, with that joy. You know, you have to have that like personal interaction to be relatable. And I feel like that's gonna maybe change a lot for you. I didn't even pull anything for the cinema yet. Let's see what comes out. Clarity on cinema, please, and thank you. Well, yeah, whatever I just said, when I got the hairs Standing up is what's going to happen, because that's going to bring you the Wheel of Fortune. It's going to change everything. But you have to find that center. You have to have that. I'm getting like maybe like a website or something like that, and maybe a business card. There has to be that center point. Maybe a QR code. Or maybe that's you. But you're going from the Chariot to the Wheel of Fortune. So things are going to change. So even if there was a slump, you know, you were in an in-between time, something is going to come through and bring some huge victory. But pay attention to where you are on this wheel, because if you're up here, it's kind of like that gravity thing. You're still going to kind of be stuck as that gravity until the wheel stops and you can kind of get off and change where you are. The best way to be on this wheel is right here, or maybe in control of how it spins all together. I'm getting that like engineer energy. Maybe you actually turn this button on and off. Such a cool card. Can you imagine being back there and what was this, like 1920 something, and seeing this guy on it's like a, I guess it's kind of like a motorcycle on this huge thing, just start to go upside down. I don't think it looks very, it does not look like there was safety protocol involved in that situation. So maybe make sure if you're doing something like that, you make sure you have your harnesses intact, your helmet on. And somebody else have a helmet? Yes. Wear your proper safety gear. Sometimes these readings, I just like how that I just like when there's interesting messages, because everybody's so like different, and you all have so many different scenarios and things that you're into, and I just feel like it's kind of cool that like sometimes I pull a card and I don't expect it to be a love reading, but it's a love reading today. And sometimes it's like this is what you got to get done and get your checklist done today. And sometimes it's very spiritual, and sometimes, you know, it's deep. I hope you guys are enjoying this reading if you're here. And I feel blessed to be able to just kind of go with the flow on the different wide variety of messages that come out on this channel. I hope it's helpful for you guys. I feel blessed to be here with you. So let's go to that laboratory. Scientific research, experiments, analysis, innovation, and invention. Maybe you have a really cool invention. Actually, I see that either like a patent or that factory that can make something. Maybe that's what changes your fortune. Clarity on laboratory, please. Oh, wow. Maybe some of you have a very, very good invention and you need to get a patent on that and keep it to yourself in the meantime, because you got the speakeasy. This is like the bonus card. So maybe you have something in the works. You've been working in the laboratory behind closed doors on something. Maybe it's finding the right people to trust that can help you out. You know, this is not in the same position, but do pay attention to, you know, maybe any partners or anything like that, to make sure it's somebody you really trust, you know, that they're really on board with you. But this is really cool. Maybe something has actually been happening behind closed doors for a while. And with this Wheel of Fortune, you are actually ready to like launch something or open that door. I do feel like it has to be kind of a VIP person right now that knows what's going on behind this door, or is allowed back there in that laboratory / speakeasy. So maybe this is doing some research, or maybe this is knocking on that right door. Maybe it's not the door that's big and sparkly that actually has the right advice for you. Maybe it comes from a very unlikely source. Somebody who isn't big and bold and bossy. And I actually hear I hear it like very clear. I hear blowing smoke up your ass. So maybe that's meaningful to you. So I think you're going to have great discernment with what situation that is. And I think there's somebody else that is actually like really inventive and creative and has solutions and doesn't focus on problems. But even if there's a problem with the laboratory, it's like, how can we fix this? How can we change this? What can we adjust? What part of that was working, but what can be the catalyst that's making it do something different? There is somebody around you, maybe that's probably you, that has a really sharp mind. It's like an analytical mind, but it's still open to gather new information and new ideas so there can be adjustments. It's not closed-mindedness. I feel like that's either you or that's the person you want to work with. The one always willing to look for a solution and not get lost into the problem. I don't know how that came out of a speakeasy, but let's go to this homeless energy. Unemployment, solitude, hunger, bankruptcy, and wandering. Mostly what I'm getting with you is you have a lot of help, love, information to actually help somebody. It does, like in just maybe just in a tough situation. It could be that you're the boss when you give somebody an opportunity to get back on their feet, or give some good advice on how to adjust something before, you know, there's too big of a slump, to get somebody to have a nice cushion. It could just be kind of like a five of Pentacles energy with that too, where someone's just kind of feeling left out in the cold with something. Let's get clarity. What do we need to know about this, please? Four of Swords. Someone needs to heal. Someone needs to rest. This is sleep. It's peace, meditation, relaxation. It's like Sleeping Beauty here. So maybe this, if this is an in-between time or something like that for you, maybe it's actually really beneficial, especially if you were like running on empty with this energy over here. Maybe it's a nice pause that you can have for self-reflection, meditation, and that actually restores you to, I don't know, start to see what's important to you. Start to see that road to victory in a different way. Start to look at possibilities on something. But this is a beautiful energy. This is, you know, when it's like this, it's not letting yourself be at peace with something. It's kind of not really the Nine of Swords, but it's not really ever getting your battery recharged. It's not allowing yourself your own little use space to meditate and just kind of be in your own thoughts. Not overwhelmed by them. Just be in it. And it's like in that, more like that river, to be in the flow of how your thoughts move. This could be just some of you after a weird situation or a pause or a reflective state or a slump, or, you know, someplace where something didn't go according to plan, somehow actually got you like back into feeling peace, which is really, this is actually really nice. I heard restoration, and then I looked at that card, the car. So maybe some of you actually work on cars as another message here. Let's get one more card on that Four of Swords, because that's kind of a, I mean, that's a nice, it brings it back into peace, but that was still kind of a heavy energy underneath. Oh, well, it's not, it's going to be beautiful. So you got the Four of Wands and the Four of Swords. You have double fours. That takes you to an 8, which is going to bring you back into manifestation and abundance. And you're coming from a place of hopelessness, but brought you to solitude. You know, sometimes when you have something like that comes through, it actually gives you a fresh, clean slate to start again, and you don't have all those chains on you anymore. Brings you back to the Fool. And it looks like on this path, you not only are sleeping better, healing from something, feeling more peaceful in your mind and in your environment and within your relationships, but you're having this, which is so beautiful. I love the Four of Wands. Those are the moments worth living for. Those are the moments, the days you get to dance under the gazebo and to, you know, be with your lover or be with your best friend or be by yourself and dance out in your yard in your underwear with your favorite song on, like nobody's watching. Hey, not doing it or not saying yes to that dance or planning something and then not going. Is it upside down? It's letting yourself have these moments, because that's what's worth living for. They're beautiful. Sometimes it is an actual wedding or an event or something like that. I would say if you get invited to something, even if it's just a date, maybe say yes. You're going to probably have a good time. For some of you, you could actually be in a situation. It is underneath the Nine of Cups here. So maybe what you're heading towards in this change of destiny and road to victory is actually bringing you towards a really happy marriage. But it's thinking about more than just the wedding day. You know, you have that fire and that passion to have something form a solid structure with that four. It's a good foundation, but how do you keep that passion for something there all the time? So it's always uplifting and elevating and thriving, adventure, excitement, you know, maybe a little sexy passion even. But it looks like you have the chance for something to be really stable with the two fours, which is really good. Let's get clarity on the painter, please and thank you. I think there's a Norah Jones song called Painter. I'll put that below for you guys. Clarity on depicts, sublimate, abstraction, form, and sensation. Maybe also with this whole like engineer, solutions, laboratory, experiments, all that. Maybe the answer could actually be thinking way outside the box on something. To like letting yourself really color outside the lines and taking a little bit of a chanceroo with something. Maybe that's how you actually become a you become a sensation. I keep hearing unique. Clarity on painter, please. Queen of Wands. Oh, well, it's also giving you confidence. You got that Queen of Wands coming in to help you out. So that could be you. That could be, I mean, it's a general reading. So I feel like these kind of attributes and personality traits that are going to be what helps you. It's gaining back your confidence. She's born to shine. Her energy inside and outside is full of this passion and life. It's like you feel the life force of this queen. She doesn't have to do much. It's just she walks into a room and you just, like, you know she's there. You just can't help but look at her. She's usually very attractive, but it's not always looks thing. It's energy and it's confidence and it's sometimes personality, but it's like a sparkliness that this queen has. Unless she's upside down, which we will look at, because then she's just an ass. And she's so full of herself and, you know, projects this amazing, confident energy, but it usually is pushing other people down or trying to take something away from somebody else, or it's so blown out of proportion. It's like it's trying to be a big plug to the hole that she has in her confidence. There's an artificialness to it. when she's so worried about something being taken away from her by somebody else succeeding. It's just kind of lower energy. Sometimes it's just somebody that's having a bad time or a slump. They're trying to get their confidence back, you know, blowing up their own ego a little bit. But upright, she's so amazing. I love this queen. She's usually a fire sign, so Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries. I mean, she wants to succeed, but she wants to be creative in how she does it, and she wants to be unique. She doesn't want to be like everyone else. And she really knows how to help others succeed. She gives them those little fiery boosts of confidence, like, you're amazing at that, and I love that about you, and why don't you come with me and help me with this? Like, she knows how to fuel that fire and get that passion all around her, not just in her own world. Wow! She's got a lot of energy today, guys. And then let's see what's at the bottom. The bottom, we'll go with this, and the bottom engineer together. So, you got the Page of Cups. You are finding peace in a situation. Maybe you have a, let me see how these are such different energies. This could be you actually being new at something like this. Starting to plan something. Maybe the plans are just starting. You know, even if you're like designing a home or interior design of the room, it's like you just know kind of the colors you want. Kind of you want shabby chic / modern / antique, but you didn't really actually go out in the stores and negotiate those, you know, pieces of furniture or talk to the right people or do all that yet, because it's a page. So this is a very young energy. You need to get more knowledge on something. But because it has complex situation and problem solving, maybe you're trying to resolve a little dilemma of the heart space. Because this is usually someone that's very emotional, naturally psychic. Upside down, I actually hear brat. It's just somebody that doesn't know how to control their emotions and they let them get out of hand. But upright, this is somebody who wants to have those experiences. This is wanting to be in love. This is wanting to pursue something that makes their heart sing with joy. This is like the little page that has the butterflies, that gets the little crush. This could be you, kind of going back to how you felt when you had your first little crush. You have these doves of peace. Maybe it's about being gentle with yourself, having this gentle energy, this wide-eyed wonder in your soul to have an experience. For some of you, it could just be that you're actually getting like a tiny taste of something new. You know, it starts with maybe texting, some little phone calls, maybe one date, but it's still a very young energy, so you have to actually allow yourself to learn more. Maybe this comes about because of this new confidence that you have, or the inspiration that this queen is giving you. Maybe somebody feels young around you. Keep hearing curious, so maybe somebody's curious. All right, so that was kind of a lot and kind of awesome. It was a really different reading today. What can I sum it up with? I kind of want to do the angel numbers, except I actually only have the top of the box, even though I'm actually pretty organized today. So I thought. So it's not that. So let's do something else. Let's do the power deck. Like, don't have anything I thought I had. Do I? The creativity. Let me get a good one. I'm not going to make you watch me find the box. I'll be right back. All right, I found them both. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get one angel number. I'll read it quick, and then a power deck, and sum this reading up. On the road to victory, your wishes coming true, releasing toxic energy, chains that were binding you, gaining back your confidence, having more of these amazing moments, having something in the works that you're ready to launch. And then you have 7777, having perseverance. Beautiful. After all that, do I have my glasses? Let me just hold it back. No glasses today. Change of perspective, reflection, inner strength, wisdom, and enlightenment. There is a need for change in perspective on whatever has taken over you now. Just change of perspective. That's all that's all that is needed. If you want to succeed, you need to keep going down the road you're on. So, if your car's stalled, you have to figure out how to jump it, where to find your key, how to put your foot on the gas, how to continue and go with the flow. Reach for the wisdom within, and then you'll know what the right next step is. You know, if something took a slump, even if this Wheel of Fortune was upside down, it's okay. It helped you redirect. It helped you learn what wasn't working so that you can be in the right position when this wheel turns around. One more card to sum up this reading, please, and thank you. You guys need to know to be helpful today. Oh, good. I just saw my glasses on the floor because I realized there's a lot of words on these cards. All right. One card for the collective to help kind of tie all this together and or bring that big, beautiful message at the end. To bring some insight into the energy going on right now. Peace and thank you. Perfection. All right. What is this? This is the one that reminds me of a golf ball or a volleyball in the sky, and then the tree is actually piercing the earth. And then you got this feather. Kind of looks like this. Maybe you do something with trees or decorations or wind chimes. Perfection is 17. It's like the star. It's the west, and it's the color black. Dream your passion. Well, here's your passion. Maybe even your creativity. Dream about these experiences. Maybe even remembering something you forgot or is coming back into the picture. This is definitely having your dreams come true. Fly away. I would say it's definitely from that energy. Feeling free. Go through the hoop of your innermost fear and desires. And interesting, look at this. When the pain from childhood. So maybe these are memories. Something that didn't work out in childhood. What pain from childhood have you not dealt with? Move into the wound of your most secret fears and find the seeds of wisdom that are planted there. Face what upsets you the most because it's a great teacher. I mean, once you look at this devil in the face, it has no power over you anymore. You are free. Give away what is holding you back. Insecurities, ego, fear of failure, or of maybe not being loved. This little page here wants to take a chance. This page might not know what it's like to have the heart fully broken yet, but that's how this page learns to become the knight and to move up to the queen and to move up to be the empress or emperor, because that's somebody with experience. Or even fear of being alone, and be reborn into a new state of perfection, because perfection kind of doesn't exist. So it's recognizing it is perfectly beautiful to be imperfect and unique. That we are all human, but yet we are divine, gorgeous souls having a human experience. And that's what it's all about. And it usually all comes back to love. Being happy, living a life that's full of joy, learning from our mistakes, and so on. 'Tis life. All right, guys, I love you so much. I hope you enjoyed this reading. With that, I bid you adieu, and I will see you soon.